Hi guys, this is Shoshana Shia from Yerushalayim, from Jerusalem. You can see my site on creationsfromjerusalem.com, and my other site is beahappymom.com. In this video I wanted to answer a question that came through. Somebody telephoned me from an email group that I'm a part of, asking me a couple of questions related to my freelance writing service, and we took a little bit of a tangent off towards some information of what I'm doing on Amazon and KDP and so on. And she had a couple of interesting questions, so I thought that I would answer them in this video. It's an easy way for anybody else to be able to benefit from the answers as well. So just before we get into those questions and answers, I thought I'd just show you some progress from the restructuring happening in this room, as I'm converting it from what was my treatment room to being my art studio. In another video perhaps I'll get into a drawing that I'm doing of starting to draw what my ideal art studio would be. I need really some more space than what I have right now, but we'll get into that another time. In any event, let's get back to the questions that this lady posed, and from time to time I might be looking at the notes that I made of the questions that she asked, and I've written them in this journal that I'm really enjoying using, one of the first journals that I created. So her first question was, how many books have I published on KDP? And I thought that one of the easiest ways would be to show a couple of them. This was the first book that I put onto KDP. It wasn't actually my own book. This is my mother's book. I hope it hasn't come in mirror image. I'll put a photograph up as well that you can see it the correct way around. I need to figure out how to change the settings in the camera so that we don't get this mirror image happening all the time. This book my mother wrote, and I assisted her with the formatting, the cover design, and putting it up onto KDP. That was the first book that came up onto Amazon. The next book you'll see coming up as an image is a children's book that my husband and I did together, and that's Tuvia Finds His Freedom. We did that both in English and in Hebrew, translated very kindly by a friend of ours, Dana Baum. The next book that I have that came up is my book, Healing Your Life Through Activity, which is my book explaining occupational therapy, how it applies throughout the entire life cycle, the cycle of life. If we think about from it, we could take that as being from babyhood all the way through to end of life, or from fertility, preconception through to end of life, or it could be started from tracking the role of a mother and then her children and all the way through. There are a couple of ways as to which you could start it. I personally started it from preconception, from fertility, going all the way through to old age and end of life. So that's my book about occupational therapy. And then as I'm busy doing final touches on and the editing on a novel series that I have I'm working to be bringing out, and further books after that. So I started doing these journals. This was my first one. You'll see coming up an image of the first 5 that were delivered to us. This particular journal was one of them. As I've said in another video, I have to count how many journals and notebooks I have so far, but I estimate approximately 22. It could be more than that by now. And I am working towards being able to do some workbooks as well, so that's how I got to start improving my drawing skills, which has brought me all the way through to changing my treatment room to an art studio, and we can talk more about that in another video. The next question as to my putting things up on Amazon and the service that the freelance writing service I have, the ghostwriting that I've done Incidentally, before I get back to that, there's one other book. It's not up on Amazon, but there's another book that I was involved in. I co-authored a book together with a colleague of mine. She sells it on her website. I don't yet have it on my website. That's about the role of occupational therapy in acute care. And I did that together with Sarah. Forget how to pronounce her last name, so it'll come up underneath here. And that was another book that I was involved in, but I don't, as far as I know, I don't think that that's up on Amazon. So the next question that this lady asked was, do you have to do Kindle? In other words, if you're putting a book onto Amazon, could it be just as a print copy, a hard copy book, or does it have to be an ebook? Does it have to go onto Kindle? And the answer is that you don't have to do Kindle. As you go through the process of uploading your book through KDP, which is Kindle Direct Publishing, it used to be called CreateSpace. As you go through the process, towards the end, as you upload it, KDP gives you the option that you can convert it into Kindle, but you don't have to do that. So the answer to that question is no, you do not have to do Kindle. The next question that was asked is, can you earn your money back from having put something up onto KDP, onto Amazon? And the answer is, it's a little bit of a complex question. There are a few layers to that question, so I'll break that down and I'll answer as we go along. Publishing anything through KDP, there's an initial sign-up fee, which is quite an affordable cost. I have to look again as to what that sign-up fee is. I think I paid something like $34 at the time that I signed up, and I've earned more than that back again. So on the simple level, the answer is yes, you can earn what you put into it, you can earn back again. The reason as to why I say it's a little bit of a complex question is because it depends on how much you're going to put into doing your book. In other words, the writing, the formatting, the editing, the cover design, we did all ourselves in-house. The promotion that we've done has predominantly been through either blog posts or our videos, and we'll get to the sales that's related to another question shortly. So it depends on what kind of marketing and promotion you're going to do, and also it depends on what other expenses you put in terms of whether you're paying somebody for editing, whether you're needing to pay somebody for the formatting, for the cover design, and how much you're putting into your promotion. So that's why it starts to become quite a layered question, and it is possible to work out a budget. It is possible to begin on a tight budget and to upgrade as you go along. It's possible to do revisions to your books if you do it, because it's all print on demand. You're not paying a certain amount of money and getting 1,000 copies, although you can do that. You can get up to, I think, 909. There's a certain amount of copies that you can purchase at a time, but you're not outlaying, as you would with a regular publishing house, a large amount of money and having to order all those hard copies and then do a revision, sell all of those copies. The beauty of doing through KDP is because it's print on demand, it's quite easy to then do revisions, to upgrade as you go along. It's also possible to alter what kind of promotion you do and to upgrade that as things develop, and as you have more income from sales coming in or from income coming in from other sources, you can start to add that back in towards your marketing expenses. So the short, simple answer is yes, you can earn your money back, but it depends on how much money you're outlaying to begin with. The question was, do you have to invest money in order to sell? And again, that comes back to some of what I was already answering. It depends on what method in which you're using to do your promotion. To set up a blog, the first blog that we had that we put up was done on Blogger, which is a free blog post platform that's done through, I think that's done through Google. And our first websites were done through Weebly, which at that stage was free. I don't know if it still is. Later on, we got to put our websites and our blogs onto WordPress, and then you start to get some expenses coming in. So even though some of the sales is coming from directly from through links, backlinks from our blog, there are costs that are starting to come in from having put websites onto WordPress. There are expenses involved in that which need to be factored in. The next method that we're using as most of our promotion is our videos, and although you might say, well, a video, you just have to do it on your phone or what have you, and you just upload it. Well, in order to do that, you need to have a phone or a video camera. It's preferable to have a tripod in order to do so. So those are two expenses. In order to upload, there are certain ways that it can be done directly from your phone. I don't do that. We have a video editing software, so it gets uploaded to our computer. That means we need to have a computer, and it means that we learn and the video editing software, and we put it through there, try and improve. At the moment we're doing very simple editing, but there's potential for growth and for improvement. And currently we haven't yet got to a level of doing any paid ads on either Amazon or on Facebook or LinkedIn. That's something further in the future, in the pipeline. So although I could say that to a certain extent there are not a lot of expenses involved in doing it in this manner, but there are behind the scenes costs that you'd be using in your business in any case. I hope you can start to figure out how expenses come in, and as you start to grow and to work with having a book up on somewhere like Amazon and through KDP, it's definitely possible to be starting to get into paid advertising, and it's also possible to begin with a limited budget. So I hope that answers that question, and again, it's a little bit of a loaded question. The next question that she said is, does it matter the quality of the image in the book? Will KDP mind? I don't know if it's as much of a... KDP does have within their the whole process for uploading your book, there are certain stages as to which KDP will look at the quality of what's gone up and to make sure that everything fits certain criteria. And if it doesn't, if there's anything that's gone into the margins, or that the size of the image is wrong, or the resolution of the image, you will be notified, and that will delay the process. They do look and check even after it's been uploaded. It goes through at least a 24 to 72 hour check by the technical team and KDP, and they'll look at certain details to make sure that the book, the manuscript that or the PDF that you've created is going to be of a good enough quality. The ones who might mind more as to the quality of an image that you put up would be your readers, because if you're going to put a very low quality image, it's not going to be possible for readers to look at it and enjoy, in which case, to a certain extent, why are you putting any graphics into your book? Why are you putting images at all? If you're wanting to have some kind of illustrations, presumably it would need to be of a level of a quality that your readers can be able to see and enjoy, and have some visual appeal. KDP does give requirements in terms of the resolution that needs to be put up. I think that they recommend 300 DPI or 72 DPI. I think that there are both options, and as I say, it's not only a case of whether KDP minds, but what quality book are you wanting to put out for your readers, keeping in mind that if your book is not well formatted, that it's going to lose appeal and not be of benefit to your potential readers. It loses the quality and the value, in which case why would they be investing into purchasing the book? And so you would have less of a likelihood of making sales. So I suppose to a certain extent, the care that you take in terms of your editing and your formatting and making sure that the images are of the appropriate standard would affect and would go into the expenses involved in putting your book together. So that comes back to our previous question as to how much money you need to invest and can you earn it back again. As I say, we did this in-house. We learnt the skills and everything as we went along. It's a very fun journey and it's very doable. And in terms of who would mind, the answer would be mostly your reader. Then the next question was, I don't have a budget. Can't you give me help for free? And from this point of view, I would say this video is preparing a certain amount of information that I can give and that I'm making available. But if you would want to obtain our professional skills to help with the formatting, to help with the editing, to help with looking at doing photo editing for you, making sure that the resolution is appropriate and so on, all of that is professional service. That is what's available through my freelance writing service and the assistance that I give. I could either assist by coaching you through the process that you could do it yourself, or if you want us to do that work for you, it is a time process. It's using professional skills that we've learned along the way, either by taking courses, by doing various tutorials, learning as we're going and improving our skill set ourselves. And so you would be paying for our time and for our professional expertise. And although it would be very nice to be able to do all these sorts of things as a gift, that's not at this stage, it's not a realistic request. It is our professional service that we're offering, and I do hope that the information that I'm giving instead, sharing on a video, would be of benefit to you. I hope that it answers your questions. You're welcome to put questions, to make comments in the comments section below underneath the video. I'm happy to answer those, but in terms of practically walking you through, holding your hand, how to do it yourself or to do that work yourself, that is a paid service. So I hope that that answers that question. And if you have a question as to why that's a paid service, we could get into that in a different video. The next question was, am I a graphic designer? I've had a range of experience doing various different types of art and a range of different creative skills. No, I have not taken a course in graphic design, although I have been learning things along the way. The current photographic related or art related software that I'm busy learning, two softwares actually, are free software programs. That's Photopea and Critter, that I'm very much enjoying learning in order to figure out how to put some of my my art through to do it on a graphics tablet and to be able to get it up into a format that I can use it for illustrating more of my books and journals and workbooks as well. And although I'm learning all of those skills, I do not have a certificate as a graphic designer. My certification that I have was more therapeutic line. I became trained as an occupational therapist. Then I have a few other courses that I did related to that. Some of the I have done one or two marketing or freelance writing related courses, but no, I do not have a certificate in graphic design, and it's possible to learn all of these things without being a professional graphic designer. So the last question that was asked was, how much of this whole process did I do myself? And the answer is all of it. Well, I had my mother and my husband and certain other people doing proofreading of my manuscripts. I did not write this book. This book was written by my mother, so no, that I didn't do the writing, but I did do the editing and the formatting. The cover, the image on the cover is a subsection of a painting that I did. The cover design, I came up with a different background and a design, which I did have a friend, an editor that I met through CreateSpace, who helped with tweaking some of the cover design. So I do correct myself, that I had help with. This book, Healing Your Life Through Activity, I did the writing of this, which was done initially on my old typewriter, when I had my electric typewriter that I recently was able to sell. Then I did it on a computer. Later I edited it, I completely rewrote it. It's been through editing, it's been through formatting. My husband and I worked on the cover design. My husband did assist me with that. And so it's all been done in-house. I have had help from certain relatives, but all of these stages we've been able to learn ourselves through either doing webinars, tutorials that we found, most that we found online, through learning through the KDP's library, what's available to learn there, and constantly improving and growing and getting feedback from certain colleagues of mine that very kindly read the manuscript before it went up and gave some comments, which were published as approbations in the front of the book. And thanks to their comments and feedback, I was able to improve to do a little bit more of the editing. But essentially, it's possible to do it all yourself. It's possible to learn all the different stages. It's a very fun process. There's a lot of benefit to doing so if you're a creative person and you enjoy both writing and the other more creative side, getting into the editing, the formatting, and so on. All of that is possible to learn, and I hope that answers that question for you. If you have other questions as to my books that are up on Amazon, on KDP, I'll put a link to my Author Central link. I still have a couple of my journals to upload. My latest novel series, the first one in the series, has been through another round of editing by myself, and it's about to be read by a colleague of mine for some input before I do the finishing touches, a little bit more formatting, and start to get that out. So that's exciting. And then I need to go on to the next in the series of that novel. If you want to know more about writing a book, about how to go about it, about the option for either having coaching or ghostwriting or assisting you with any of the process, do be in touch. That is one of the services that I offer. And with that, I say I wish you a very, very blessed day. I hope that this been some helpful information for you. If you consider putting a book up on Amazon, of publishing through KDP, I do recommend it. There are also other self-publishing platforms available. I'm learning some of the other options available. I haven't explored all of them, but I do have some more information that I've gained along the way. So if you have other questions, you're welcome to send me a comment or to set up a consultation and see what we can do to assist you to bring out your own books, journals, or workbooks. So with that, I wish you a blessed day, and I'll see you in another video.